Start by congratulating Pitt and Coach Narduzzi. They did a phenomenal job and played really clean, aggressive, very good football. I thought our kids played really well and battled hard. We obviously were too inconsistent. We have to play better, more disciplined football, and that starts with me as the head coach getting these guys prepared to do that. So I think it's easy when you lose games like this is to immediately jump and say, well, the players made this mistake or that. But the reality is there's a lot of procedural things on the front end we have to get cleaned up, and that starts with me, and I need to put us in a better position to be disciplined and successful.
Matt, you fell behind early, and a commitment to the run game. You did find some success in the pass game, but how hard is it to stay committed to that run game when you're down 24 to? I think it was 24-3 at one point.
Yes, the later in the game it gets a little bit more difficult. So the game plan, so every week we frame it offense, defense, special teams, right? So the big plan this week was to run it and control the clock in the first half and get us to the second half in the fight, which it was ugly in the first half, very, very ugly. And they did a good job moving the sticks, and we had some issues and we didn't get the ball back. But the plan was to run the ball a bunch in the first half, get us into the fight in the second half, and we got it within one score and late in the third quarter. And but then we Pitt did a great job, long touchdown play after that kind of took the wind out of our sails, and after that we just had a hard time rebounding. But you really saw in the second half that's probably pretty close to what the regular offense will look like when you're it's not a game one or a Power 4 opponent. So
what did Pitt do so much to neutralize the run game? Did they give you some different looks? Did they just sometimes just beating you up front, isn't it? That's
well, part of it was just giving challenging looks. So they play an over front, so it's a 4-3 defense with cover 4 safeties. So those two guys are right behind the linebacker. So they have 9 of their 11 players all pretty tight within the line of scrimmage. So it's difficult to block all those guys and have a lot of space to go. So it was very clear their plan was, hey, play action and try to beat us, or throw it a whole bunch and try to beat us. And as unfortunately once we had it to one score, and then once it became a 2 and 3 score game, then you have to become one dimensional because of the time piece of it. So that put us in a little bit tougher spot than we want to be in.
You got that pick from JK, and you get it down there and you punched it right before the half. Then you score again. Did you feel like at that point momentum's on our side? Hey, we weathered the storm. We're going to be right in this thing. And then 2 plays later, they're back in the end zone. And the balloon's deflated. Is that kind of how you saw it?
Yeah. I think like it did. It felt like when we scored, you could feel it on the sideline. Like, okay, like, hey, this is working. We're going okay. And then when that happened with a counter punch, it's hard. You can win a couple rounds in a UFC heavyweight match, and you come out and you're wrong and you let your guard down for one punch, the whole fight changes. So that's unfortunately kind of what we did. So we need to make sure as a staff we are keeping our guys disciplined and prepared and teaching them how to win all of the time, whether you're up, down, good, bad, or different. So,
how would you assess the court? You went 3 quarterbacks again, got some big plays, some big 4th down conversions, especially. Lasser had a really nice one. Joe threw a 4th down pass. How would you assess the quarterback play? And is it where, I asked you this last week after you used 3 in the opener, you used those 3 guys again this week. Just assess that and where you're at with that, and you feel pretty good about how you're playing.
All 3 kids did a really, really nice job. And like I said, the cool part about those 3 kids playing quarterback is it's not like when one guy comes in, we do these things with them. They can run the whole offense. So it makes it even a little bit more difficult to prepare for defensively because you have all your regular personnel groupings plus those personnel groupings with quarterback. So when we huddle on the sideline, you don't really know which one's going in and who does what. But I thought all 3 did a really nice job today. I thought Glasser played really, really well. He did some great things outside of the one funky decision in traffic down there late. But we're going to continue to play all 3 of those guys. We had the reserve line in with Angel, and we has a couple communication errors that we got to get cleaned up. So that was frustrating to see towards the end of the game because that impacts our ability to evaluate all 3 quarterbacks effectively. But they did a great job and can help us win a lot of ways.
How about the play of the defense? When you look at the score of 42 points, you gave up a lot of yards through the air in the first half, but that got you back in the game in the second half. The interception and all that. And I don't know, did you feel like the defense played better in the second half than maybe in the first half?
I don't know if better is the right word, but more consistently for sure. Like that's the thing, is that it all matters. I talked, Coach, we just talked about this in the locker room, but Coach Saban always talks about, like, you got to make a decision if you want to be a show dog or a hunting dog, like what you're really about. Do you want to walk around in our cool gear and our uniform and tell everybody you play Division I football, or do you want to be like a film grinder who, man, I made a bunch of mistakes, or I can get better. Am I going to go in there and do those things? What's really, truly necessary? So defensively, we played really, really well outside of, to me, I shouldn't say really well. We played better than what the score indicates. The major concerns are the 4 touchdowns they scored. Nobody was near those guys. So those were like catastrophic errors where we weren't forcing them to earn it. And that was very upsetting to see. So you got to see, it's very critical for our kids to see, when you make undisciplined mistakes against talented, disciplined teams, there will be a consequence for that. So that was good for us to learn.
2 games in, Matt, so you've seen this team, obviously a long way to go. You got to go to Michigan next week, and just your thoughts on where this team is. I mean, there's a lot of encouragement there, isn't there? I mean, you seem as excited and as positive as you have been all along. I mean, is that how you come out of this, and is that the message to your team at this point?
I think so, because these first couple of games, it's not just the players. It's the players we brought in. It's all the coaches getting on the same page. Like, how do we troubleshoot problems during the course of games? So I'm as excited as I've been, because there's still an element of unknown. You know what I mean? You're bringing in new recruits and coaches from different levels, and you open with a group of 6 team, and then you open with your next one's a power 4. So you're still learning. I'm still learning so much about our guys, but I'm really, really encouraged about where we're at. I'm excited about where we're at, and to be honest, I told the players, like, the issues we had in the game today that hurt us, a lot of them are things that we need to coach better, and we have a very good history of fixing the things that we need to fix quickly. So I'm very encouraged by that.